Hey guys, this is just a quick video reminder as to how to apply possessives in a sentence. So many of you during your journal entries have been great about applying many of the concepts that we're learning during our synchronous time together, such as contractions, which is something that we've really hit pretty hard in the past several weeks. But we've also focused quite heavily on possessives. And just a reminder, we use an apostrophe followed by an S in most cases attached to a noun to indicate possession. And also, to remind you, we have the word possession, which is possession, if I can spell it. Possession is the main word you're going to hear throughout both the asynchronous assignments that you're being given and also throughout our synchronous learning time. And this means something that is owned, or in many cases it just means to have. So I'll write that down just as a reminder. Now, if I have a sentence indicating that something is owned or something belongs to a noun, I'm going to indicate that using that apostrophe. So through some of these examples, I hope to solidify that point. So here we have Stephen's pen is white. So very basic sentence. Here I have the proper noun, Stephen, and I'm showing that he owns something using that apostrophe S. In which case, you can tell based on the context of the sentence that Stephen's pen, so pen is the object that is owned by Stephen. It doesn't always have to be an object, it can also be a characteristic or a quality. For example, let me switch my color. The house's smell is wonderful, for lack of a better word. Okay, so the smell of the house in this case is being described as wonderful. So smell wouldn't be considered a possession in the sense that many of us would regard it as, like something that you would purchase in a store in order to possess it, right? In many ways, to possess something just means that you have that thing. In this case, we have the house, which possesses a smell, defined however you'd like, but it's described as wonderful. But anywho, so the house here owns the smell. It's in possession of the smell, which is shown with the apostrophe S. And then a third really quick example. So we've got the cat's fur is fluffy, right? Okie dokie. Well, here we've got our noun, which is the cat. We're showing that he owns something with the apostrophe S, and that's something that he owns in this case is fur. Now, really quick, just to remind you, because what I'm noticing a lot of kids do, in my class in particular, is they'll forego that apostrophe. So, for example, looking at our first one, if I were to write Stevens without the apostrophe S, now I go from singular, which is, I'll highlight that in yellow, this would be a singular, and it's showing Stephen, the one Stephen, who owns something. Now we go from a singular to a plural, because I'm adding an S without the apostrophe, which would indicate ownership, and instead I'm saying there are many Stevens. Same thing here. If I were to take the word house and then add an S at the end, now I've taken it into a plural. So we have more than one house, as opposed to a singular house that owns something. And the same example for cats. If I forego or do not include that apostrophe, now I go from a singular cat, which owns the fur, to multiple cats. So when you're writing your sentences and you want to reflect and think, okay, well, did I use the apostrophe appropriately, or does it make sense? Well, you just need to isolate the word you've used the apostrophe S in to show ownership, and ask yourself, okay, well, what does this noun own, or what is it in possession of? And if you're not able to answer it, or if it doesn't make sense in the way that you've written it, then it likely doesn't belong there. In addition to that question, you should always look at your sentences and examine them in such a way where if you see that one of the words that has an S at the end isn't actually a plural, there should only be one, meaning it should be singular, then perhaps that is a word that you may want to incorporate the apostrophe S. And then once again ask yourself, okay, well, this word that I've added an apostrophe S to, this noun, what is it in possession of in the sentence, whatever the sentence is? So again, these are a lot of these checks that we have to become more accustomed to doing as we write. So anywho, quick video, quick reminder, I look forward to continuing to read a lot of these great journal entries you guys are submitting in our online classrooms, and I also look forward to hearing your feedback and input during our daily language review in the mornings. All right, guys, thanks again for taking the time to watch. I look forward to continuing to read your journals. Let me go ahead and stop my share. All right, bye.